Hales, what's up?
Much. I got allergies today, so don't mind my nose.
That's gross.
Yeah, it is, and the allergy medicine doesn't work, so it's awesome.
So, what are you reading?
I I haven't started anything new. I just finished 10 Tiny Breaths again because we were supposed to do that today.
I'm the worst.
I was thinking of rereading Delirium because I have the last book of the series, so I was gonna read. And it's a book. It's a book. How weird is that?
Oh, that's super weird. Because I'm such a bad friend and blogger, I decided to give up on Tiny and just start reading Striking so that I don't ruin it for us next week.
So this week, instead of actually doing a review, because Hales did not finish the book,
I'm a failure.
we're going to do the 50 random things about us tag that has been floating around YouTube, except we'll do 25 apiece.
I'll start because mine is really stupid. My first one is I'm 28.
My first one is I have a slight addiction to chapstick.
Any
When
particular kind?
I like the Burt's Bees, okay? The original Burt's Bees ones. When I turned 19, I think, I was in college, and my friend, she had bought me a present, and it was one of those giant containers of chapstick that you, like the display case of chapstick that you see at stores. She bought that for me, but it was like half full because the store didn't have a full one for her to buy. But it was still like 25 chapstick.
This is probably my coolest one, personally. But I have been on 8 brewery tours. And just to add to it, I call them brewery touries. Different ones. One of them I've been on 3 times.
Have they all been in Wisconsin, or have they been in different states?
One was in California, and one was in Minnesota.
So this one might make me a little silly, but whenever I have the chance, and I'm up in Green Bay, which is frequently, I like to drive past Lambeau Field just to look at it because it's so pretty.
It is really cool looking. I get excited whenever I'm driving to your house.
Now, my daughter, she will sit in the car if she's with me, and when we drive past, she'll go, Packers, Packers.
Oh, that's cute. I really like Finding Nemo, which includes that I saw Nemo on ice.
Yeah!
Hales was there too.
I was there! So when I was little, from the ages of 5 to 10, I was in ballet. And, coincidentally enough, Hales also took ballet classes at the same studio that I did, but we weren't in the same class ever. However, if you watch a video of like when we were maybe 6 or something like that, in the finale of the performance, like Hales was like literally like right behind me in the finale.
It's true.
But we did not meet in person in real life for like 13 years after that. That was a random thing about you, too.
And mine was.
We're so good.
My next one is kind of silly. The kind of Kindle that I have is the Paperwhite. That's my random fact. But I could seriously be a salesperson for it. I just think it's so cool. I love it so much.
I absolutely love the smell of fresh cut grass, lilacs, and sheets right out of the dryer, though fresh cut grass always makes me sneeze. Yep.
Next up, my profession and what I went to school for. I am a computer programmer.
This one already gives me like the heebie-jeebies. So I hate spiders. Like, even the tiniest little one, I absolutely hate. One time, when Lily was like 8 months or 9 months old, she was crawling around the living room, and she was trying to reach for something that was on the floor, and I thought it was like a piece of fuzz or a piece of, you know, paper or something like that. So I got up to go get it before she like put it in her mouth, and as I got to it, it scurried away. It was horrible, and I just like, I freaked out. I picked Lily up so she wouldn't grab it and put it in her mouth, and then I like grabbed the closest thing, which was like a wipe, and I got the sucker.
Also, my thing that I hate, which is also another super stereotypical one, but I really do not like snakes at all.
Ugh, neither do I.
Just the last week we had randomly a snake was sitting on the carpet at work. Super random. But then a guy like followed me around the office with it. It was okay. It's just horribly mean. It's not normal not to have arms and legs. Yeah.
So I have one, well, technically 2 tattoos. See? There. And it's one, because it's one, but I got the stars, these 4 stars, I got them first. And then, like a month or 2 later, I got the rest of it. So technically 2, but it's 1. Tattoos, anyway. And I want maybe like 3 more.
3 more? This weekend, I'm going to be doing the Warrior Dash for the 2nd time. Yeah. I will probably die. So it was nice knowing you all.
But if it's the 2nd time and you already made it for your 1st time.
Yeah, but last year I actually trained for it, and I ended up walking very slowly the whole thing because I stayed with Chase and he did it too. But this year we bought the tickets for it in November, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll totally prepare for it, and I did absolutely nothing. I can barely walk 3 miles, so it will be interesting.
I love it when it rains. I like open all my windows and my doors, and I like the smell of it. Like you can smell rain, and it's awesome, and I love it. However, I absolutely hate thunderstorms. Hate them.
Why do you hate them?
Terrified of them.
I didn't even know this.
I think it stems back to when I grew up, like when I was a little kid and I grew up and we lived in a trailer house. So it was like not at all secured down to the ground at all. No basement, obviously. And any time the wind blew at all, the whole house would rattle and shake. And it was, yeah. So.
How do you feel about tornadoes?
Hate them. They come with thunderstorms. I hate them.
I'm going to say how many books I read last year, but now I can't figure out how to find it. But you wouldn't think it was that impressive. But really, until last year, I really didn't read books. And then I read, like, a lot. 50-ish.
Okay, so my absolute favorite coffee flavor is white chocolate peppermint mocha from Starbucks because it's delicious. And I don't get to go to Starbucks very often, so I found a recipe that is very, very similar to it, and it's delicious. And I had it like all winter last year. I made it myself, and it was much cheaper and so delicious. But a fun fact about the white chocolate peppermint mocha is after I gave birth both times, my cousin would visit me in the hospital with a giant Starbucks of white chocolate peppermint mocha.
That's awesome. I got married 3 months ago. Yay!
And so my favorite TV shows, my favorite TV shows that are no longer on air were Gilmore Girls and Fringe. My favorite TV shows right now are New Girl, Revenge, and Scandal. And my guilty pleasure TV show is Pretty Little Liars.
Oh boy. Is number of places I have lived, which is 16 total in my life.
So I have been to 14 of the United States.
Like driven through or hung out in?
I think I've been in all of them. Like actually out of my car in all of them.
That's pretty good.
14 of them. But I want to visit all of them in my lifetime.
I'm an only child, which um, I wouldn't choose to be, but I read this one article about why it's cool to be an only child, and I realized like how many traits I have that are probably because of that, and they're really good traits. So there's definitely good reasons. I feel like the main reason I don't like being one now is when your parents are crazy, then you're the only person that can deal with them. You can't just pawn them off. So if I had completely sane parents, I think it wouldn't matter.
I started college with an early childhood education major, but I changed it to graphic technologies because I didn't want to deal with kids all day, every day. And now I'm a stay-at-home mom.
That makes complete sense. This movie that I could watch over and over. My old one is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I don't know why, but I own it and I've watched it a lot of times, and whenever it's on TV I have to watch it, and I know like every little part by heart, but I love it. My new one is Pitch Perfect, which I've seen a million times, and it's just so funny every time.
It is. I love that movie. So my grandparents, when they were, I don't know how old, but before I was born, they bought a schoolhouse, and that was awesome because they lived there when they lived in the schoolhouse. They lived in a trailer next to the schoolhouse. But when I was growing up, we would always visit, and I always would sneak into the schoolhouse and explore. There's just so much to get into. It's so cool.
Favorite foods. Pretty much everything about me and food is pretty strange, but I'm gonna go with my favorite food being artichokes, and just like straight up artichokes.
At least it's a healthy food.
Kind of. I only eat it with melted butter, but it's not very healthy.
My absolute favorite book series is Harry Potter.
Really?
So I remember when like the first book was out, I was a freshman in high school, and I remember sitting in band class and one of my friends was sitting next to me and she was reading it. And I'm like, that's a kid's book. Like, why are you reading that book? We're in high school. And then like more of my friends were reading it. And I read the first one and I was like, oh, this is really good. And then the summer I went to the library then, and they had like there was more books out, and I just kept rereading them. And I love them. I've read them like probably like the whole series. I've read the whole series probably about 5 times.
Wow, that's a jaunt. Because I really like fountain soda. I would be okay if I never had canned or bottled soda ever again, but I think fountain soda is delicious.
My toenails must be painted at all times.
That is unique.
But I hate having nail polish on my fingernails.
Just last year, I found out that I love strawberries. Like, I don't think I'd ever ate one my whole life. And so I tried one because I was embarrassed not to eat it, and now I just want to eat them all the time.
I guess it doesn't really surprise me with you and your weird food quirks, so.
Exactly. Like, I don't like seeds, and they have seeds all over them. So I just figured I would not like that.
Okay, so I wish I had more time to knit, but I have kids. But I still haven't finished my son's blanket that I started knitting for him before he was born.
Oh boy.
It'll be one in December.
Is it big enough yet to fit over his body?
He's so big now. No, probably not. Hold on.
That is big enough for his body.
Not. It's little.
That's really cute, though.
And I really like knitting hats because they're really quick, and I think they kind of turn out pretty cool, so I want to knit more.
Well, this head could use one. Next up, what I collect. I have started a growler collection, and it's pretty sweet. Do you know what a growler is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have 5 of them so far.
That's a weak collection, Hales.
Yeah, but like there's only 2 in Eau Claire that I can get. So they're not something you come across every day.
So I met him, my hubby, through mutual friends of ours, and we emailed for 2 weeks before we actually met. And then on our 1-year anniversary, I printed off those emails and made him a book because I'm a sap,
Oh,
and I don't think he ever looked at it.
that's pretty cute. Food that I hate that no one understands. Peanut butter. Really, I don't like peanuts at all. So it would make sense I wouldn't like peanut butter.
But it's not because she's like allergic. She just doesn't like it.
Peanut allergy is a horrible allergy to have, but sometimes I wish I did because then people would understand me. Because they're just like, no, eat this. And people have tricked me into eating it. It's not nice.
That is pretty mean, but I don't understand it.
So yes, I grew up eating jelly sandwiches.
Okay, so this one's pretty lame, but my favorite color is green.
My favorite color is, I don't even know what to define it, but I'll just say light blue. Shades of blue that are not navy.
You like baby blue because that was Justin Timberlake's favorite color.
It may have started out that way.
So I like to add cayenne pepper to a lot of my food, like eggs and noodles, and this is a weird one, but it's chai tea because it makes it more spicy. My cousin gave me the chai tea idea, but it just makes it a little more spicy, and I like spice, so that's weird. But
My first job was McDonald's.
yeah,
I actually sometimes miss it. Like, it was a great first job. Like, maybe it's not cool to work at every McDonald's, but in Marshfield, that was the place to be.
I got to sit and watch movies all day with my first job because I worked at a video store.
That's a pretty great first job.
It is. Yeah, it was a fun one. That was not one of my answers, but you know.
Bonus.
I wear my pajamas 90% of the time.
Right now, are you wearing pajamas?
I feel accomplished if I like wear jeans and a t-shirt and even put makeup on.
But now you have to once a week.
Once a week, at least I feel accomplished one day. And then usually the weekends too, because we might go do something. But other than that, I'm usually in my pajamas.
I don't currently, but I used to play the piano and flute.
Flute represent. Okay, so my favorite holiday is, it used to be the 4th of July, but I changed it because now it's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is a great one.
And it probably does have to do with the delicious food that we make because I usually only make all that stuff like once a year. But it's also the only holiday where we stay home, like just now it's the 4 of us, but we just stay here, just the 4 of us, because Chris always has to work on the next day. Which is fine, because I like it. Like just hanging out with us, and then we make delicious food, and there's football on that day, and that's awesome.
True. And this year there's a Packer game.
I know. It's awesome.
Very excited.
It's a great day.
My new show that I really like is New Girl.
Yay!
Like, we just started watching it a couple months ago. We've just been marathoning it.
It is so funny.
We're not caught up yet, but we should be in time for the new season.
So when I clean my house, I have to listen to music because it makes cleaning so much faster.
Favorite seasons. Hales definitely disagrees with me on this, but I really only like summer. Like, yes, I love that perfect spring or fall day, but they're like one day out of the entire season. So, I just gotta go summer.
I have the entire series of Dawson's Creek and Fringe on DVD. Because I have an obvious thing for Joshua Jackson. I've had a crush, I guess you could say, on him since like 1992 when the Mighty Ducks came out, and it has never faltered at all since. But, so we were speaking of Joshua Jackson, here's my next one. My son, totally named after him.
And also subconsciously after the Sea of Tranquility.
It's true, but it's definitely Joshua Jackson. Chris shakes his head at me when I talk about it because he says that I love Joshua Jackson more than I love him.
You have loved him longer.
I have, and I tell him that, but
now you don't get to see him on a regular basis.
I know, and it makes me sad.
So if I were a cat or dog person, I would be a dog person. Hands down, no question. And right now we're trying to figure out what kind of dog we should get.
A pug.
No, I decided I do not want any dogs that shed. So anybody wants to leave a suggestion in the comments.
So my absolute favorite meal from a restaurant is either the pesto cavatappi from Noodles and Company, or the pesto, whichever noodle I would like from Victoria's, which is a restaurant in Appleton, because I freaking love pesto. It's delicious.
Do you ever cook with it?
Yes. I just made noodles and pesto and like chicken the other day. Josh, he gobbled it up.
My favorite meal is at TGI Fridays. Their salmon. Their Jack Daniel's salmon. Delicious.
My favorite season is fall.
Yay.
Because I love the cool, crisp freshness of it, leaves changing colors, the frosty mornings that sometimes come. They're fun.
Even when you have to scrape your car?
Well, see, I stay at home and I don't have to do that no more. So.
Fine.
I love pumpkins and apple picking and hoodies. Hoodies are awesome and I love them. Fall, obviously. Football. Huge. The caramel apple cider. Caramel apple spice, I think, at Starbucks. It is delicious. Have you ever had that? Because it is delicious.
I think I have.
Oh my god, I love that stuff so much.
I bet you can make that too.
Yeah, I know you could.
I like all those things except the car scraping.
I did not say car scraping. I said
This favorite drink. I would say my favorite mixed drink is rum and Coke, which, interesting enough, you should never order because I hate white rum. So you have to order Captain and Coke. I have learned this recently. It's very important. And for beer, I'm going to go with, my favorite beer is Goose Island 312.
Okay, and if anybody actually continued to watch with us, you are awesome. And
Next week.
we're going to do Striking by Lila Felix and Rachel Higginson.
Yay!
Yay! And Hales better read the book and finish it by then.
I'm working on it.
Alright, until next week then. Bye, Hales.
Bye, Gales.